over the last few months, the weather here in Florida has gotten hot. And I mean really, really, really hot. And so I haven't worked on my cars at all because it's about 115 degrees in my garage right now, and it feels like I am living in Mordor. Now, my solution for the time was just don't come out in the garage. It's 115 degrees. Why would I be out here? Why would any sane man work outside in Florida? It's a great question. I chose the easy route and just simply didn't work. And now I'm realizing that that's probably not the actual solution to my problems, and instead, I should just make my garage a hospitable place to work. So today, after living in Florida for 25 years, I am finally going to air condition my garage. And to go above and beyond that, I'm also going to be insulating my garage doors to make sure that none of that sweet, sweet, cool air escapes. So join me for the last video where I will be sweating my butt cheeks off in my garage before I get the sweet relief of modern technology. So here's the plan of action. I've got an AC unit, some ducting, and a bunch of insulation here. What I'm gonna do is put the AC unit right there, run the exhaust duct up the wall here and up through the ceiling right about there. Now normally you would drill through the cinder block and have it exhaust out through the wall there, but I'm gonna go up through the ceiling and exhaust it out through the attic. Now obviously to exhaust it out through the attic means I have to also go in the attic. And in order to get all the way to that back wall over there from inside the attic, I'm gonna have to put together some walkways up there that will allow me to not fall through the ceiling. So let me take you guys up into the attic here. I'm gonna look around here. So right over there in that corner is where I plan to have the exhaust for the AC unit come up and exit through the soffit right over there in the corner of the roof. Now it's already a bajillion degrees up here, so I don't think having a little bit of an exhaust leak from that thing is gonna affect much up here at all, and most of that air should go straight out the soffit and be totally fine. Now because this is an attic, it means that this is all just drywall right here where the ceiling is, and I need something that's gonna support me so I can get all the way over there. It's about 15 feet away. So that's the plan at least, and it sounds pretty easy in theory. Just run an exhaust vent straight through the ceiling and out the soffit, and then insulate the garage doors. But something tells me that this is gonna be a whole lot harder than I expected it to be. So step one here is going to be mark out where my exhaust vent should go, and you know, if you get the good arm measure, it should go right about here. That sounds good. That feels good. Right about, yeah, that's it. That's the one right here. I'm just going to mark a hole basically and then cut it out. This is definitely a OSHA approved scaffolding too. Can't even hear me over this crinkling probably. Be gone, crinkly demon. Oh, it's floppy. Oh, it's so much more floppy than I thought it would be. All right, we finally got that unpackaged. Now it's time to trace it into the ceiling. Why are you so floppy? Look at this thing, it's like an accordion. You're just gonna, yep, that's what I figured you would do. So that's gonna come up like right here. We're just gonna trace a Rooney. There's sweat in my eyeball. That's why I'm doing this. Okay, it's a good enough circle. This whole project is just gonna be good enough. That's what we're going for. Doesn't have to be perfect, just good enough. Are you gonna go back down? Oh, you are. Nice. All right, now we cut. We got a drywall knife. I'm gonna punch it through the ceiling. We'll cut the little circle out. Now in general, when you're doing this, you want to make sure that there are no wires or hoses or other things that you could puncture, like human beings, on the other side of your drywall. Ew, we got a hole. Let's see if this fits up through there. Yeah, I mean, that looks pretty good to me. That's an exhaust hose hooked up. All right, now I just gotta get down without dying. All right, now that the hose is up, all we gotta do is go up into the attic and stretch it over to the little soffit vent on the side, and we can hook the AC up. That's basically it. If you can't tell, I'm drenched here. A new swamp has opened up in the state of Florida, and it is right between my butt cheeks. Well, it's officially time for my venture deep into the attic. Way over there, you can see the vent and the hose that has popped through. And now I need to get this board as kind of my seat over there, and then from there kind of crawl over there. So we'll see how good that ends up working. All right. Time to crawl. Oh, there's like nails up here. I'm getting caught on them. I need like one more piece of plywood over here before I can do this. Because I can't stand that far down. But the plywood can, in theory, support my big ass. Ah! That'll split the difference. Oh! I am back here. All right, that's it. Now I just gotta get out of here without dying. Whew. Yeehaw and all that. One wrong move and I get stabbed by a million nails. But we got it. Definitely inhaled some insulation there. As you can see there, hopefully, that tube now makes a 90-degree bend and goes right out the edge of the roof, out to open air. So no exhaust is gonna end up in on the ceiling of the attic or anywhere else. All right, let's grab our plywood and our lights and get back down to safety. Farewell, Mr. Penguin. You've kept me safe. Thank you for your blessing. It is hot. It is hot up there. It's hot down here. I feel like the Balrog is gonna come out and whip my ass. Whew! All right, we got our exhaust routed. Now all we need to do is bring the AC in and get that baby hooked up. And we got air conditioning running. Woo! Woohoo! I was pretty nervous there. That was really close. One wrong move, foot straight through the drywall. But we got no holes except the one that we wanted to put there. So we're good. Now here's a new problem to deal with. This opening on the back of the air conditioner for the exhaust is like 6 inches wide, I believe. And our hose end here is about 4 inches wide. I think that with a good amount of duct tape, we may be able to create some sort of adapter to go between the end there and the end over there. Let's see if this works. So we got the vent all hooked up with the ducting, and now we just gotta see if it runs. So we're gonna connect it to power. Hopefully everything turns on and it works exactly the way it's supposed to the very first time we try it. As if that's happened in the history of ever. Okay, it's opening. It's blowing. I'm gonna set it to 65. We got airflow. Compressor kicked on. Oh, it tripped the breaker. That's probably not good for it. Well, that did not go as planned. As you see, the AC system is now missing from its little spot there, and that's because the 4-inch pipe overheats the compressor on it. So if you've been following along up until this point, don't do what I did. Make sure you get the proper size hose to exhaust the air out of it. So I've got a new 6-inch hose coming, and that means that I'm gonna have to go back up in the attic, redo everything that I did today, and then hopefully everything will work properly. But for now, we're stuck. I don't know if the AC unit is working or not. I don't know if we caused permanent damage to it or not. We got to evaluate it tomorrow once the new piping comes in, but this was not a good first attempt. So while I waited for the new parts for my air conditioner to show up, I decided to go ahead and get the insulation on the garage doors done. And I won't bore you guys with the entire process, but the final result looks like this, and it worked super well. After a long day of work, my garage doors are now fully insulated. Did I install the insulation the wrong way around? Maybe, but we're gonna ignore that because it seems to be working regardless. Even though my garage is still super hot, it is a solid 5 to 7 degrees cooler than it was before, and it seems to be fluctuating a whole lot less. It is midday right now, and we're sitting a solid 10 degrees cooler than it is outside right now. Now, the insulation system that I chose to go with here in Florida is called Radiant Barrier. It's basically foam on one side and then foil on the other side. And what this does is basically act like a trampoline for heat. The heat comes in, hits this side, comes through, hits the foil on the other side, and just bounces it straight back out. So if I touch the foil right here, it's relatively cool compared to actually touching the garage door. In between the foil and the door, there is a little bit of an air gap, and that's where that heat gets bounced around and sent back out through the garage door. So in theory, the garage door actually gets hotter, but the heat inside here doesn't pass through, it just gets bounced away. So this stuff works super well for heat environments, doesn't work so well with cold, but that is not a problem here in Florida because when it does get cold in Florida, I welcome it with open arms. So now with the garage doors fully done, it's time to hop back to the air conditioning system and get that new 6-inch pipe hooked up. It's time to cut our new 6-inch hole, which means me going back up on my very professional scaffolding here, almost stabbing myself in the foot on the way up, and this just comes back out. Ta-da! All right, new pipe's up, hole is cut. Now time to go back up into the attic and do that whole rigmarole again where I crawl over to the edge and put the thing in the thing and yeah, we've done this before. This will be easy peasy. Climbing back up, going round 2. You know what? I've learned from my mistakes, and this time I'm gonna bring a respirator so I don't inhale insulation. I have found my respirator.
Oh, it's a hot one today, boys and girl. Shout out the 1% female audience. All right, that should do it. That really sucked. That was not fun. It's probably 130 degrees up in this attic right now. Whew. All right. Sound like freaking Darth Vader out here.
Well, we got the tube back in place. Our new exhaust vent is all set up and ready to go. I'm absolutely drenched, dripping in sweat right now. So I really hope that this air conditioner works now. Let's see if we can get this new pipe hooked up, get the AC running, get this place cooled down. So we got it all hooked up. It's properly hose clamped onto the back of the AC. It is blowing through and up, and we have gorgeous 61-degree airflow coming out of this thing right now. Now there is one small problem, and that's right here. You can see that this hose is dripping quite a bit of water out of it, and that is the condensation line from the air conditioner. So we need to actually hard line this to dump that water probably straight out that garage door. And as I was just filming that clip, the breaker tripped and all of my lights and power went out, and now the AC is off too. So my garage might not be able to handle the air conditioning unit. We will see. Well, I do not have good news. Unfortunately, after the last 3 days of trying to get this AC unit to work, it's gone. I have returned it back to the store that I bought it at because it is just not the right tool for the job. I had a ton of problems getting this thing installed, and it started with having the wrong size exhaust vent taking the hot air away from the unit. But I went and upgraded that to this beautiful 6-inch pipe. Then it turned out that having too many bends in the 6-inch pipe was still restricting the airflow. So I went back in the attic again and straightened everything out, got this as straightened out as I could, and even put some extra insulation around it where it fit. I finally got the entire system running last night and ran it all the way through the night to see how cold my garage would get. Now, the outdoor temperature last night hit a chilly 77 degrees here in Florida at about 2 a.m. And at the same time, I got up out of bed and came into the garage and checked it, and I was sitting at 86 degrees in here. So the insulation is working because it kept the garage nice and warm the same way it was during the day, which is actually kind of the opposite of what I wanted to happen. Now, what that proved to me was that the AC system just isn't cooling enough. There's not enough power. It was rated at 16,000 BTUs, which meant it should have cooled a place up to about 800 square feet. And my garage is only about 550 square feet, and it wasn't doing a damn thing. Now, my journey to figuring out how to get my garage to be a hospitable environment is not over. I've made some decent progress, and right now it would normally be about 110 in the garage, and it's sitting at 91 degrees. So clearly the insulation has worked pretty well at lowering the temperatures. But even OSHA recommends a workplace of no hotter than 80 degrees. So until my garage is OSHA compliant, I'm not willing to stop. Now, I did talk to some experts, and I was recommended a mini split system, but that would involve a ton more money than what I've already spent, as well as drilling through the cinder block walls of my garage. Now, I'm willing to do it, but I need a company to step up and help me out here. So if you know an AC company or you represent one of the popular AC brands, please shoot me an email. I'll have my email down in the description below. You can reach out. Let's work something out because I need a cool garage. And I don't have $2,200 to spend on a brand new AC unit. Because if you can't tell by this car behind me, it needs a lot of help. And that help comes from money. So while the project is not done, I'm also not giving up. I am gonna get back to work on the cars because 91 is a whole lot better than 110, and I can get some fans in here to at least get some air circulating so we can get back to work on the vehicle. And trust me, I got a lot of hours out here that need to be invested into the car. So with that being said, I've got another chapter in the books of trying to get my garage fitted up and ready to be a workable environment. We're getting closer with every single one of these videos on it. We got lighting, we've got a little bit of cooler temperatures now, and thankfully after about September here in Florida, we'll get back to some decent temperatures. But for now, it's gonna be a sweaty, drippy mess getting back to work on the cars. I'm not giving up. I'm not willing to throw in the towel on this. So if an AC company reaches out and says, hey, we'll send you a free unit, that's awesome. But even if not, I'll be right here, sweating my buns off, working on the car again. Now, as a quick update for everybody who's been wondering where I went, I took a 1-month break from social media as a whole. I went and traveled the United States. I went up to Maine. I went up to Canada. It was an amazing vacation and much needed, because my entire job revolves around working online, and it was nice to get out into the world and really do something physical and walk around and see nature and enjoy the world a little bit more than what I see behind a computer screen regularly. But being away from the internet got me super motivated to get back in the garage and work on my car again, which is why I've been trying to get all of this done. And I've reconnected with some close friends here in the area who may make an appearance here on the channel eventually, getting me back in action on this car. Now, because I've been gone for a month, not a whole lot of work has been done on the thing. It's still pretty much in the condition in which I left it at, and I've got a ton of welding left to do on this thing. So I've got some new equipment coming that should make it a little bit easier. I've spent the money to get all of the body panels that I needed for this thing, and hopefully by the end of the year, we'll have a drivable, very cool, awesome, homemade 1975 Camaro. So if you guys are excited for that, please leave me a comment. Let me know you're still watching. I would love to see how many people I recognize from the first couple videos that I uploaded here. And if you're new, welcome aboard to the channel. I build cars very, very slowly. So thank you guys all for the support. It's been amazing to reconnect with the community here on YouTube and the car world as a whole. It's been awesome getting back in here and getting ready to start work again on the car. Super motivated, got tons of stuff coming for you guys, and I will see you all in the next video. See ya.